thing up on Twitter about how like his mum said he had to take it seriously. He had to try. And so he said that just for days, you know, he was just DMing, he was aimbotsing, he was doing his reviews, he was watching back what he was doing. Like this guy, he has got a work ethic that if everyone else shared it, I think Counter-Strike could be on a whole other level, man.
Well, we could talk about complexity all day, but we need to get into the veto. So let's have a look and see what we're going to see. I mean, Navi had a fantastic start on Dust the other day.
The veto's kind of interesting for me. So Vertigo goes out for Navi, right? That makes a lot of sense. And then Complexity. Curious to see what's going on there. Also, we've seen Complexity veto Overpass a few times in times gone by, so they leave both of them in, and they actually make that decision to get rid of Train. It's the Dust 2 pick from Navi. This is a good map for Complexity as well. While it is like the old home stomping grounds of Navi, it's one that they haven't had the best results on as of late. Nuke picked up for Complexity. This is great. That's a home map for Cole. So this is actually a very exciting veto. Wow. Navi get rid of Overpass, and we end on Inferno.
Okay, that's crazy. Inferno was not what I was expecting. When I saw Cole didn't ban it out first, I was like, Navi might pick it. Obviously, you know, they're not go-to Inferno team by any means, but this has been a really, I don't want to say a bad map, but a map they have struggled on, and a map they have lost a lot of important games on.
Versus CIS teams.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the last time they played Navi on this map back at Pro League, they did win it 16-14. But one thing that is consistent when we watch these two teams take each other on is while often it goes 3 maps, often it's competitive, they're always dominant maps, right? They're always like 16-5, 16-8, right? We don't really have like OTs or close games between these two. I don't know why that is. We'll have to wait and see if that holds true today. But to see Inferno not only not get banned by Complexity, but to pick it over Mirage as a third, you can understand why they don't want to play Mirage versus Navi, and hopefully they have put the work in on Inferno. But every time that we feel they've put the work in on Inferno, they do underwhelm. I think that's their worst map. So hopefully the practice and the player break and some time away has given them, you know, what they need to fix this map.
This is, I guess, the problem with having the widest map pool in the game, or one of the teams that does. You can play all 7 maps, but you can't practice all 7 maps consistently.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that Cole haven't really touched Inferno for a while, and you know, while they've on a 4-loss streak some time back, like that, if anything, links to the fact that they've probably put some work in. But practice versus officials, we know the difference there, Frankie. We know how you know, everything could be going right in the practice, and then you go into an official and you get bodied. So I hope that doesn't happen to Cole if we go to 3 maps, but that's still a question in and of itself.
A big question mark for me is going to be Poison, if I'm honest, because it feels like he's like a pendulum. Like one game, plus 40, finishes the best of 3, looks like the best AWPer in the world. The next, minus 20, you know, a bit rough. And you know, he kind of like just hangs in the balance between these 2 positions. And I will say that when you're going up against Navi, when you've got Simple on the other side, you are going to need your AWPer to be standing out on the side of Complexity.
Yeah, it does also feel that Poison is someone that struggles, especially online, right? Complexity, we talk about this team being on and off online. They have been winning these home sweet home cups, as you mentioned, but Poison, I feel like not only has had internet issues plaguing him earlier in the year when we covered them in RTR and EPL and such, but yeah, I think this is obviously a LAN team, goes the same way for Navi, right? They don't have a great history in online Counter-Strike. Coming into this year, they hadn't touched it for almost 2 years. But yeah, I don't know, this is such an exciting game. This is our match of the day.
I wonder if Complexity are going to regret picking Nuke against Navi, because Navi didn't look terrible on Nuke the other day. They didn't, and that was their opening series of this tournament. We know they had their slow starts, and also what we saw from Navi was a rare showing of discipline on that CT side.
I do think that the thing that kind of gets me so caught up in the majesty of a team like Complexity is how they're a team that like to play to their strengths and not their opponent's weaknesses, you know? And it's more about believing in your own game. Like Nuke is one of the home maps for this Complexity squad. So I like that because it shows that they've got the confidence. They believe that even though it's a good map for Navi, even though it's one that they've looked good on as of late, they still have the edge there. They still have the firepower. And well, we don't have to wait that much longer to get in. It's Dust 2, it's map number 1 in a very exciting best of 3. Playoffs on the line, it's all to play for. Complexity taking on Navi. A little bit of Dust to kickstart our day.
Yeah, that's quite the spice. Number 3 versus number 5. It's quite a matchup here we have, and Navi, we're hoping Simple can bring the heat into this series, because Complexity are ready and raring to go on this CT side. Yeah, I mean, I could talk about this all day long, but why bother when we can actually watch the action unfold in front of us? Simple first blood, Config from the pit will fire right back. Flamey's gotten out behind the bins, but Config does see the feet and keeps him tucked in. Poison's got to deal with his cat take. Oh, the jump, it gives it away. He didn't realize how deep they got him, and now he knows the hard way round. Config is gone from the pit meanwhile, and it's down to a 2-on-4 retake.
Yeah, it's Rush and BlameF left in it. And they're going to wrap all the way around over here towards long. Now, Flamey is holding this down from this little goblin position, but as he decides to hop on down, they peek him. If that there isn't the timing I find myself with in every MM game I ever play, I don't know what is. And now we're into a 2-on-2. Rush doubling up. This should have been impossible. This was a 2-on-4. There should have been no way back into this for Cole. But now it's all on to Perfecto as Blame's taken down another. And there's the follow-up, a kit on Rush. They grab the defuse and they've got this one. Complexity 2v4, and they survive with both of those two players at the end of the round.
Navi very keen to fight there, right? Perfecto's obviously stuck in a position where he has to fight, but like Flamey moving out along, I wonder what the call was there. Maybe Navi already thought that Cole would be, you know, coming from a different position, but they hadn't seen a single player. And so Flamey had a great spot to like hide behind that corner, not peek out aggressively. His teammates could have baited for him on long. There were so many other ways Navi could have played that, but they really go in for the fight. And while maybe that's historically good for them, it doesn't work out here. Especially with the kit dropped in CT. Rush had to go and grab that, so that could have been Navi's round through and through, but Cole, a well-earned 2v4, and now they've got the money behind them. Navi not wanting to throw everything into this, just Eagles, as you would expect. Electronic with a bit of Kev behind it as well. Simple's going to get tagged very early towards B. That's Obo putting on the pressure. Oh dear, these Deagles on Navi can be scary at the best of times, and so Complexity need to have their wits about them, keep those heads hidden. Because Navi, they're not rushing anywhere, they are simply just looking for these kills, fighting every side of the map. 3 smoke on long. Effecto looking for a B pick, might be able to catch Obo with his nade in hand, but he's playing a timing to drop that smoke. Config, he's going to find one in middle, and Navi losing their bomb, they've got to pick that one back up for now.
It's so frustrating because there's so much to say about both of these teams, and I feel like even with a 3-hour series, we're not going to have enough time to say it all. Here's a cat play, because also we have to talk about what's going on in the game. Even though you all have eyes, sometimes we say words that you see. Blame here in the site, and he only gets one. The D gonna find him. Poison, almost the collateral. Instead, it's a bit of a shooting gallery for Poison. They try and duck beneath. Electronic naded down, and this should be his death sentence sealed. It's Complexity getting that anti-eco, and now Rifles ready to come through for Navi. One of the things that I also think was really cool is that BlameF, you know, big fan of the ESCA refrag tools that are now available for insiders and above over on the platform. He used that. He used the restrat game mode to come up with solutions to the nuke outside problems that were being thrown his way, which I thought was sick.
Yeah, and we talk about ESCA. Well, that is actually free to play during Pro League, which will be right after Cologne as well. So definitely keep your eyes open for that in the future. Talking of the outside control on Nuke, I know we can get to this later, but we've talked about Mahone before. He's made a video on that recently about Cole's outside control. Really interesting one. Do recommend you watch that. But yeah, that will all be later. We'll get into it on Nuke. Right now it's Dust 2, and it's Navi taking long. Perfecto setting up flashes. Rush is so blind, he falls into the pit, but he has been spotted, and he's getting hung out to dry. He's going to need a teammate to flash him out. That happens, but no fight. Flamey boosted up. Rush, he doesn't really have like a molly to push anyone out, so continue to try and hit these flash timings, but Navi aren't giving him the kill. They're not rushing this one. They're bleeding out Cole's utility. This is really nice. Obo coming in aggressive to try and force these kills. It's exactly what Navi were waiting for. I love that patience. They don't try and rush long and overwhelm that pit player. They simply know that Complexity are going to be feeling pressured to make a move, and make a move they do. Navi with 2. Upper tunnel's control taken by Cole, but it's not really going to matter when Navi have so many players ready to hit this A site.
Yeah, Poison has to really do his best to stay alive for this flank to find anything. It's done damage, but no kills presenting themselves yet. Config and BlameF 2v5. And while they're able to get that 2v4 by the wayside in the pistol, this one is asking a hell of a lot here from these two remaining players on the complexity side. Bomb planted inside of the A site. Short has been cleared by Perfecto, and now Simple feels safe to get that bomb down. This is surely just going to be a save here for complexity.
Yeah, it's one of those positions where you're like, oh, if only they knew the damage, right? It's not like this is going to be an easy win by any means, but yeah, 3 players on 30 health. That scout does a lot of damage, but no kills to be found. Navi taking their first. We know what their long control is like. We saw them back at Cato. They've been an excellent Dust 2 team this year, despite all of their ups and downs. And, you know, not that I'm ever really worried about Navi. We know they're slow starters into tournaments. We know they struggle online. But when they only just beat Mousesports, I say only just, they kind of wrecked them on Dust 2, but they took a 2-1 win against Mousesports. A Mousesports that got shredded in their follow-up game. That did somewhat worry me coming up into this matchup. Of course, again, Navi, you know, they're getting better every game. That's what we expect from them.
Obviously, the other 3 that we have cast in these games sometimes, they have Sponge as the analytical mind, right? Chad Sponge, Birchall, guy that we all know and love. Hugo, we don't have that third analytical mind. We barely even have one between the 2 of us. But we have got Dupree, who just tweeted his opinion out about the pistol round. So I'm going to use him like our analyst. Thank you, Dupree. He said, and he kind of leans in your favor here, he said that if Navi had just kind of decided to take those fights or fallen back sooner on in that pistol round, and he thinks they would have picked it up. So that one there, slipping by the wayside, solidified by our man Dupree. Felt like a bit of an error from the Navi side. Complexity, though, they lose that one round, and now they come in with this kind of mismatch buy. I'd love to get Dupree on for a desk, man. I bet he would nail it.
Yeah, he's not at the point where, you know, he needs to start thinking.
No,
about
I don't think he needs to consider any other options.
He's all right.
Astralis, they're doing okay, I reckon. Yeah, Config holding on to B, and he's getting pressured here by the utility, but boy, has he risen to the occasion. He's still fighting. And he's put this one into a 5-on-4 right out of the gate. Now, it looked like Navi wanted to try and split this B site early on. They do get players out through middle, but Flamey is still holding on to long, and there's a bit of a fight that might go down here. He wins out his engagement over Rush, hoping that that was going to shift complexity round a bit. And now that they've dealt with Oboe down here in middle, with Flamey splitting long, they teetered over towards B early in the round, but now it looks like this A split from Cat and the long area.
Simple tried to walk out mid, and he hit the smoke, the jut out, and it fully lost his vision. Oh, almost 2 poison. Traded by Perfecto. That's opened up a world here for Navi where that bomb can cross, but actually it's taking some time and it's allowing Cole to come in on the backline. Perfecto, oh dear, he could have already been planting. Now he's got to drop spawn side. He will escape for the time being. That molly landing on the site and stopping Flamey from taking position. Boy, oh boy, Perfecto just sped up there. This would already be a post plant, but now they're really taking their time, dropping the bomb, getting it down with a few seconds remaining. But Cole have completely switched it up. They've gone lower to CT. Navi might not expect both players here so quickly. Moving up towards the ramp. Perfecto, low HP, should be checked here. And that's exactly what happens. Config does not miss those. Flamey in a clutch. He's only seen one man. The boost up behind the boxes, he doesn't know. He does flick back, and that's the info he needs to win this clutch. Missed shot on the jump. Flamey low HP, but it doesn't matter. And he'll take their head right off of BlameF. I love that idea for complexity. I think they played that well with the boost also, but Flamey hits 2 banging shots, and that's going to be the round for Navi. This was very awkward. I think Navi just expected more resistance in that A site as well. They didn't know the Cole were running these double Bs, and almost gets a little hairy there. If that bomb got lost on Cat with 10 seconds remaining, that would have been Cole's through and through. But for now, it's pistols. They're broke once again. Oboe has a Zeus. He's going to get tagged on the cross. Eagles and P250s.
Slow and steady are how Navi are hoping to win this race. Simple. Ooh, Config. Oh, he got tagged through the wall. You don't mess with Simple, man. Not when you're only on with this D, especially not then. Jumping around at the mid doors, Config's going to come to pay the price. And now Rush This is a nice little bait and switch setup. I'm always a fan of it, right? Rush going to try and draw the attention in, and then you hope that allows Flame F to get away with something. But Boomich, a little too fast on the trigger. 3 in the round, and this A site now secured for Navi. I love how patient they always are, man. It might, like, I would hate to play against Navi ever. I think most teams would on a map like Dust 2. Because they really do just make you work for anything. Like, even now in this 2-on-5, they take, look at all this time, right? They're so methodical and clear it out long. They really kind of solidify themselves inside of the bomb site. And now, you know, if you're Complexity, your Oboe, your Config, you've already been waiting around for 40 seconds knowing damn well that you're not going to have a chance to play into this round. But now you've got to wait even longer. And they're just going to sit back here in CT spawn, try and hold on to this D, get a taser, so it's not exactly, you know, the best save we've ever seen.
Cole are on a 10-win streak on this map, it's worth noting. Their last loss was against Big in DreamHack Masters, so in some time. One of those wins even being against Navi as well. I mentioned this earlier, we often see these games be fairly one-sided. That was a 16-8 to Cole. A couple of months ago, albeit, so keep that in mind. Times have changed, although not rosters. Both of these teams staying as these same fives for quite some time, and the results are beginning to show through with them at the top of those ESL World Rankings. We had number 2 yesterday in Vitality falling to Astralis. Somewhat to be expected. Definitely a team that we want to keep our eyes on. That being Astralis, continuing into this tournament. Right now, this is for the playoffs as well. Flamey dropping the smoke on the long corner. He's going to get boosted up and try and hold on to the doors. Bomb already leaving. Rush trying to play for that audio. He will hear footsteps from this position. Navi throwing out their mid to Bs. Electronic peering through. Oboe's looking to get aggressive. Oh, Electronic spots him leaving the smoke there, and he will corner him. If Rush gets aggressive, he, if not dead to Simple, will be dead to Flamey up on the boxes. So he'll hold off for the time being. Painfully slow for Navi, making everyone work for these kills. Blame's dead. Surely. No, he checks it. Electronic doesn't really react. It looked like he was just walking towards the doors, but Electronic, despite that aggressive position, is going to go down, and mid is immediately smoked, and Blame gets the hell out of there. So not falling to the trade of Navi, keeping things in a 4-on-4. So where do they go from here?
They're going to re-smoke middle, and Blame actually begins like a bit of a retreat in towards this A site. And with how this setup for Navi's looking right now, this might be the perfect call at the perfect timing for Blame. Now, we saw this fight between Flamey and Rush go down earlier on at Long, and Rush didn't win it, but this time he does. He removes Flamey, and that there is the second hand from this push taken out of the equation in through CT. Boomich gets info, but the problem for Navi here is they've got no choice but to commit into A. Even though they realize that there's a lot of bodies here with only 10 seconds left, there's no change in your mind now. And so this is just gonna have to be a save for Simple and Perfecto. This slow pace there, this is the downside of it. You know, it gives with one hand, it takes with the other. And while it's great at making your opponent feel uncomfortable, sometimes you do end up in these situations where you realize that the bomb site you were going towards is stacked or has a very heavy presence there. And there's just nothing you can do. You know, you either walk into the slaughter and you try and fight that one out, or you just have to back away and save. And that's exactly what happens to Navi in that round.
Navi were hoping to get a kill there to commit towards A. Boomich comes in through CT, but he gets fully flashed by his teammate, dropping a flashbang in CT spawn. At that point, he has no position, he's blind for another 5, and he has to wait it out, meaning Navi have to force the save. If that flash doesn't come through, maybe Boomich can gain position, get a long pick, and that can, you know, egg Navi on into pushing into the site. It's a team flash that completely uproots everything there in that 3-on-4. Obviously, Blame had actually rotated to A, so there was a heavy setup. It was pretty difficult to get through regardless, but, you know, once the flash hits, there's just zero chance Navi are going for that round. So that's really unfortunate. That's a communication issue, because they should know where Boomich is right there. It's going to cost them a third, equal now on either side. Oh dear, Boomich is blind again. It's not a team flash this time, but it is a molly that pushes him out. Good grenade does some damage. He's up on the site. Config quick though, and already low was Boomich. Flamey, he has to get this kill out long. He gets double peeked. Oh, through the pole. Finding Rush, fully blind. It's down to Poison on the corner, swinging on that Molotov. This guy is keen, and that is a dangerous move. He gets punished for it as he tries to fall back. Flamey peeking in front of the Molotov. And despite Cole pushing all the way through B and having this flank, they've completely lost the A site. And Obo is already doubling back. They might be calling for the save.
Think about the amount of times we've seen these flanks from Complexity where they've had players coming in through T-spawn, and yet it never even has the chance to play into the round. You know, like, this must feel kind of horrible because every single time you think you know what's going on and you think you're in the right position. Well, a lot of the time you are, but it's just, you know, Navi, they have this kind of tendency of holding, making you get real uncomfortable, making you consider your options, and then they just explode into a bomb site. It must feel so weird, like so jarring to play against. And I kind of want to see Complexity go for one of these B pushes a little bit earlier in the round. Obviously, it's risky. You know that Navi are holding this map control in the beginning. So maybe B isn't the answer as to where you look to push out of the gate. Maybe it is. But I would love to just see one of these flanks try and come in with a bit more of a sense of urgency behind it, because so often it is just happening a little too late in the round. However, you know, as you often find, giving the aggression to Navi is exactly what they were hoping for, right? So it is like, it's a very awkward spot to be in. I like it. I keep seeing repeat faces on the fan cams. I love that we have like people just showing up, not supporters of like any one team, but they do support a team out of the two. They're just fans of CS. Down here in mid, Blade, big fan of Counter-Strike. He's taken down Electronic right out of spawn, up on top of the head of Config. They used that to get the kill early. Now this B site has fallen while this has happened, but it's another kill now. This time for Config, the man who was at the bottom of the boost, chiming in with one, and a 5-on-3 retake in towards B. They're fast on the approach, and it's USP's Navi. They might be about to get ecoed. Down they go. It's flawless with one AK, or two AKs rather, and just USPs on everyone else. They get it locked in, and it's Config, a guy who didn't even have a rifle, to steal the show with 3.
Oh, that's the most unfortunate round for Navi, right? And why we've been seeing Cole heavy on these B-sided plays. I love the fast flanks as well, right? Just the crunch onto middle with Config's USP, gets an AK, finds another through the smoke, even closes the 5-on-1. No way of giving Navi away back into that round. Boy, oh boy, that's a spicy one. Flamey's looked really good in this game so far, right? Simple's had a slow start, but we're yet to really see any head-to-head AWPing. Now that might come through with Poison donning the sniper. He's been scouting his way into this game. But Flamey's been getting a lot of long picks, and so Navi might want to go back to relying on that. He's going to flash Electronic up Cat. It's the AWP on the car here for Poison. Very standard setup. Cole leading towards long. It has been a bit of a problem for them in the past. Flame is hiding as he gets flashed out. Rush with one. Simple, as the smoke pops, finds Poison on the corner, and that's a huge opening kill. Flame yet to be spotted, spamming the smoke, but it's favoring Navi, and they get both kills. Electronic, they were not aware of him coming up Cat. Even though Config gets a couple of bullets off, it's not going to be enough. It's down to the young gun of Obo.
There's the first. Perfecto up through the ramp. Bit of damage from Obo, but not the killing blow they were hoping for. Dropping into CT. While all this is happening, Simple is wrapping short side. So Obo's got a 1-on-2 temporarily over here at long. But the longer he waits, the more valuable this wrap is from Simple. Obo might not even survive the journey back into CT. Spamming. Not quite able to get the kill locked in. And this should be a 5th for Navi. Obo falling away, looking to try and save it. Even then, Simple is here, ready and waiting to deny it. It's 5 on the board for the Navi side. Obo there wearing a vest. You want to know why that is? Because in Europe, there's not a lot of AC, and it's pretty warm around here at the minute, Hugo. Yeah. These Americans, they're a little bit spoiled.
They are in a hotel in London.
Oh, well, there you go. There's AC. Never mind. Forget I said anything. He's just wearing a vest because it's comfortable. And you want Obo to be comfortable. This guy, often find he's so good in the clutches.
Yeah, for sure. He's wondering the entire time, like, why am I not getting these fights? He's looking for them. He's on top of the catwalk, fighting site, spamming car. Where's that third player? Why is the bomb not getting planted? And all in the meantime, like you said, they're waiting for Simple. Flamey and Perfecto are just trying to dodge duels and avoid fights so this flank can come through. And Simple even catches Obo leaving as well. Yeah, Long is clearly the problem. That always is in a game versus Navi. The wonder is how are Complexity going to deal with that? Are they going to start trying to give it up or just put Poison in a position to find a kill? He gets dropped by Simple in that round as the smoke blooms. Navi are always going to have waves of utility, waves of flashes up on that position. Simple's back on the AWP. It was saved by Perfecto to allow Simple to lurk. Perfecto is leading the charge. Once again, the flashes are fantastic. He's just going to burn to death. Rush somehow gets away with one, and there's Poison posted up late to the angle. He dodges the flashes, and he takes down Boomich. I say that he was blind in doing so. Flamey on one, and Navi are going to get the hell out of Long. Finally, Cole find a solution, but is it a short-term one?
It's one of those situations where Flamey tried to dodge the nade, actually puts him in a more direct line of the nade, and now he's very, very low as a result. Electronics over here at short. Config holding on. Surely not an angle you're going to be ready for if you're Electronic. He's still creeping on up. Config. Electronic, man, he barely even needs the keyboard. Like, he just gets caught with the nade out. And there's Config further solidifying this man advantage. But B is empty. Complexity. They're so used to these A plays that they've just gone, right, guys, everyone head A. Let's lock it down. Let's win this round. But in doing so, they might have opened up a path for Navi into this B site. Simple as throwing the AWP into Flamey's hands, and Obo should have this round locked in. It all depends on who he gets contact with first. If you find Flamey, that's one thing, but there we go. Simple swing it out, gets dropped, and the round's locked in for Complexity. It's 5 on the board.
Yeah, I like that proactive play, right? It's a very risky one, and you know you could be giving Navi the B bomb site. Obo begins a rotation, but he clears out lower, he clears out mid. Config gets aggressive on short to kill Electronic, and while he doesn't get traded or see anyone else, it's not like he swings into middle and goes, oh, there's definitely no one here. Like, the cubby is checked, cat is checked. So Cole don't actually know that that's fully a fake from Electronic. They can only assume, and Obo confirms that by clearing out, you know, tunnels and top T-spawn. Back to Long, Simple the solution. Oh, he's only going to get one. Obo with a trade, again blind. Feels like Cole haven't had a kill here without being blind, and that's not going to change. Poison yoinks it away across towards the bins. He's going to know, thanks to that Molotov, giving it away and peeking back in with another one to try and trap Flamey. Electronic, that's going to get caught by Config on the car. Galil is not the gun. And now it's down to a 3-on-2. Navi, both players spotted. This is where Blame can get aggressive or try and push B tunnels if he wants. He does see Boomich coming from top mid, and so now Cole are aware they have to care about Cat. Config, oh, he's just going to go for the fight. I like the confidence, but it's not going to show up. And now it's down to a 2-on-2 where Poison is pushing the perimeter.
Yeah, and it's this push that could tear the round away. There's the first, but the trade comes in immediately from Flamey. And now Blame F left to go toe-to-toe with Flamey. Unplanted here. Flame on inside of the A site. Gonna flash high. Doesn't find anything. Blame, plenty of utility here, but Flamey's left to take a fight, and Blame is ready for that. Complexity going to steal that 6th round.
Everyone's so hungry, man. Everyone wants those jewels. Like, I don't blame Flamey.
They're getting starved to them in the first minute or so, and that's why.
It's so entertaining. Like, Cole pushing for every fight. Blame spots them at top mid. Config's like, yeah, don't worry, guys. I'll just kill them. He doesn't. Poison even aggresses on Cat, right? That's a super risky play. Blame only saw one, so there wasn't the info that, oh yeah, both players are up Cat, they're going to trade you, and so maybe Poison thinks he can isolate a one-on-one rather than being trapped on like a long split, because I think that's probably what they expected at that point. But yeah, as long as you're, you know, getting the 1v1s and you're equal anyway, it's not the end of the world. You're setting your teammate up for the clutch, and Blame, he is going to close it. So Cole take a lead, and Navi, it's money that they need, down to D's.
So that's his double AWP out, and one of them's over here at short. That's the, ooh, Oh, looked like it was going to be a collateral. Not the best nade you've ever seen, but just gets unfortunate dropping it as he falls. As I was saying, the other AWP was over at B, pushing with Obo, who now has been let off the leash to head in through the lower tunnels, and he's going to spot Simple over on Catwalk. He gets out of there once they see him, but this is a lot of control for Complexity to have. Electronic dropping into CT, Poison, missed shot, you can't afford to miss those, and now Electronic has dealt with him. Darting back through this CT smoke, Flamey on the Deagle, picking up another, and Electronic's going to follow up on Uobo. It's a 2-on-2 in the blink of an eye. The bomb, however, is dropped up on Catwalk, and that there is a bit of a problem for Navi. Luckily enough, Flamey's gotten by. They do lose Electronic down here in CT. Flamey, 1v2, they hear him up on the Catwalk. He's not being discreet about this. Flash up, and both these players looking to challenge. Rush immediately on the boxes, and he's going to find Flamey. So 7 for Complexity.
That whole round was like no one having the actual correct info, and that's thanks to Navi like doubling back. Flamey tries to chase down Obo in lower. Obo retreats to B. Very safe decision after getting spotted in the tunnels. And then Navi know the pressure's on. They know they're getting flanked, and the A likely has high numbers, as it should do. So they actually double back through the CT smoke towards middle, catching the B rotations who think it's A, and Flamey in that clutch, if he walks up Cat and gets that bomb, Cole didn't actually have the info. They didn't know where it was, so they thought it was B. They were both looking at middle and trying to walk on the rotate, but yeah, he runs up Cat, he makes all this noise, and so Cole are just ready for him. I actually think they probably would have split up, or at least both gone B, if Flamey snuck that one. But yeah, some of these rounds have been very, like, I imagine the communication, we know what it's like for Navi, can get pretty hectic at times. And some of these rounds have been very fast. That was a good eco, though. Navi do a lot of damage, and they make it interesting. No plant, though. And so we can see the effect that that's had in terms of Galils and a tech on Perfecto with no warp on Simple. Poison, he's taken long. That's got to be a good feeling for a change. But Flamey's going to look to fight back. Poison, does he want to stay on this angle? Well, Flamey doesn't. He's going to jump away. Navi up Catwalk right now, setting up smokes for this A take. And Poison's at least peeled back to try and stop it.
Here it comes, Blame F. Attempting to move behind these boxes. Boomich gonna flash himself into CT. Blame gets the information, so Boomich is made quick work of. Oh dear, they know. Blame, they really know, and he's still good for 2. Blame F holding the line, USP out. Can't quite get past Simple with it, but he's kept Complexity in a very good spot indeed. Flamey left in the clutch again, this time a 1v3, and he's made quick work of by Obo. So 8 on the board for Complexity as they continue to chain together rounds here on this CT side. Navi, these attempts at the slow rounds, while they were working early on in the last few, we've certainly seen the scales tip in favor of Complexity.
Yeah, and the money not being there certainly doesn't help either. Navi would have loved that bomb plant in the previous round, because even now they're back to pistols. It's all too familiar. And you need those rifles, you need Simple getting those opening picks on long. If you want to take that control, which is Navi's bread and butter on this map. B play, are they just going to run through the smoke? Maybe. Look how many flash bangs are highlighted. They're all going out. So much utility. The mid-split gets nothing done. Obo's flash blinds out Boomich. Simple with the opening kill to the back of the site. They do have control of B, but with those doors flipped, Blame can fight back and try and stop the cross. Config is here too. He's going to hear the bomb go plant, but he nades default, and Electronic is further behind the box. Or Flamey, rather. Electronics grabbed a gun, and Cole have loads of util to retake this nice and slow.
Oh, Flamey tries to jump the gun to get out through the window. Electronic now in with 1, but more players have tiptoed their way in. Simple, oh with the Deagle, delivers everything that was needed. Now down to the 1v1, and Poison not aware that Simple had wrapped back outside. That looked like it should have been communicated. That looked like a bit of a miscommunication, perhaps from Complexity, as Poison is looking entirely the wrong way.
Yeah, while everyone's flooding through the window there for Cole, Blame is holding the doors passive, knowing that Navi like to do this when they take B, pushing through, swapping sides, trading that control, and you can see after Simple gets the kills and the scales tip and it goes into a 2-on-2, Blame's like, I need to trade, I need to get this kill, but Simple hits an incredible deke flick, and Navi win the eco off the back of it. And of course, someone called car, because that's where Simple was getting the shots from, like close door, but I imagine, oh dear, I imagine they didn't see him leave after that kill. My oh my, Poison on this eco is domed Simple through the doors. There has been a trade, and Electronic finding a kill with a nade. Oh my, the spam as well. Config is screwed, and he will at least try and get some damage out of there, but not getting out alive. This one's done. It's just Blame with a scout, no armor. And even though the bomb still dropped Suicide, which is a bit of a weird one, this AK should remove him, and Boomish does exactly that. 7 at the end of the round. Navi, they warm up at the end. That eco win gives them what they need to set us up for a competitive Dust 2. We'll see if that's the case, continuing after the break.
I've been looking for a place that I'd rather be. I've been searching for my own destiny. I raise my gun to the sky.
Down, but you'll notice Cole aren't rushing down the catwalk. They're coming in from lower. Simple, as he often is, boosted up on the catwalk for early mid-fights. He's It's going to get at least some audio from these lower players. Obo fighting mid. It's a double peek that works wonders. Cole finding that opening kill. Navi, they could tuck B, but Electronic has cleared out the tunnels, and so these B players move away into middle. At this point, it's obvious. Navi know what's going on, but they haven't got the numbers on that A site to patch it up, and neither on B, with Obo finding the man on the flank. Flamey coming in as well, and Obo's got a triple. Navi are just giving Cole kills right now, trying to flank fast, and Simple and Perfecto are all that remain.
Go on then, Simple. What can he offer? Damage, but nothing found. Config dealing with him, leaves it on to Perfecto in a very unlikely round. A great round from Obo, though, right? 10 points of health, manages to get 3 kills with that Glock. And so Perfecto's just saving, man. He wants nothing to do with this round. Oh, that's nice. Nice little sequence there to find Rush, but that should be the end of Perfecto's journey. Going to be 9 on the board for Complexity at the end of this one, and there's another. Perfecto padding these stats. Not going to be able to give this round a go no matter how much damage he does. Oh.
Uh-oh.
How many more are they going to give you, Perfecto? How many more fights are you going to get? They're still chasing him down. He's only got this kit, but they really don't want to let him get away with it.
There's so minimal benefit to Cole chasing the kill as opposed to Perfecto, you know, getting away with more and making more money. Look, he's bought the scout for Simple now, so not bad at all. But yeah, Complexity, I love that round. They know they're trapped. They know that Navi have the info. With them being on Cat, they show a lot of presence in middle. And so instead of rushing, like I think Navi expected with how some of, you know, the mid rounds turned pretty fast in that first half, and as how pistols often are, Cole just wait, and Navi, they feed them from the flank. Oh, yeah. Simple, he ain't falling for that one. He knows you're watching lower, Config.
I was thinking when Config stood there doing that, I'm like, oh, I don't like it. Simple's got the scout. He's not the guy you want to trifle with. And, well, luckily enough, Simple does get his just desserts later on. Shut down by Obo. It's a 10th for Complexity. I admire the confidence on a man like Config to go blow for blow with Simple, but this is not a fight you want to be taking.
I mean, he's not, yeah, he doesn't even want the fight, you know. He's holding that angle just to watch to see if anyone goes aggressive lower. He doesn't want to peek mid, knowing, like, Navi are going to have a scout. Navi always have a scout. And so why would I play aggressive there? But Simple reads it. He's played this map 1,000 times and 1,000 more. Poison with the P2. It's an eco for Navi. He's saving for the AWP. Nothing like buying an AWP in this round and losing it, but I mean, he doesn't have the money anyway. Config saving his teammates in middle, finding Simple, getting his revenge, even spotting Perfecto on mid as well. Double Cat setup here for Navi, so the old bait and switcheroo, Boomich can fall off, or just tuck, and Electronic with the P2 trying to find kills, but Cole might just open B before that even happens. Flash is good, Electronic is spotted. That's actually hilarious. Considering Electronic is blind, his model's hand dabs, you know, he does the flashbang dance, covers his face, and it's that arm moving over his face that shows him in that corner. You're not usually seen on such a passive angle until you know that Cat player swings, but yeah, the flashbang, it actually forces the old dance and Complexity. I mean, that was their round anyway, through and through. But just about confirming it, putting a bow on top. Because remember, Cole, on their CT side, they want a full eco like that, albeit it was with 2 rifles saved. But Config got a 3K after just using a USP. So here it is. The AWP is out, and Simple's got his as well. What do they got for us?
Fast, long play. Perfecto, there's one, but that's all for him. Electronic, that's a good nade. Config catches it. That's not what you want to be catching at this time. They might try and get poisoned down here in the pit. Now, this is like a vintage Dust 2, right? You get your AWP, you set him up in pit, and then look at what this does to the sight lines. These cameras are perfect to illustrate it. It forces Navi to have to give up long in its entirety and instead prioritize Cat. So this gives you like a free avenue over towards the A site. And eventually, Navi might decide, well, we should maybe give long a little look, see if they're still there. If that happens, that's where Poison just gets delivered or handed a free kill from a player trying to play for information. So this is why teams do this so often. This is why you'll see the AWP get put here. This is a map on like no other in how much control you can take with just this one AWP in this location. So alongside lockdown for Complexity, and now this enables the walk up. It's bread and butter, right? You just walk up long, you smoke the cross, you get into the site, and that's where Navi, the reason they take Catwalk is it still gives them an element of control here at the A-bomb site, but Utility can nullify that very, very easily.
Only one smoke, though, so they're going to have to use that Molotov. It doesn't work. The spam is good for Boomich, dropping the bomb as well. There's a little gap there, but they're going to cross to the site. No further, however. Simple is already Gandalf, and he is pulling out some tricks of his own. Blame jumping through the smoke, finding Boomich. Nice stuff. Poison catches Simple on top of the car, wider than he assumed, and it's going to be the bomb getting planted with only 8 seconds to spare. Retake on with no kit. Oof.
Flamey's tiptoeing up through CT. Poison's seen him, but trapped at the car. Oh, he's going to nail this shot, and he had to. That was a death sentence for Poison. If that shot misses, he goes down. He gets spammed to death. So a huge one, a huge 2v4 from Poison and Blame.
That's not the first call I've had. They've had plenty in this game already. Yeah, using the old Navi long take against them, right? Just sitting there, just bleeding the time. Blame goes back to T-spawn to check for the B push. We see that a lot for Cole. Navi, they only have one player B. They're not falling for it, right? They know what's going on. But unfortunately, you know, that's not going to stop Cole and their aggressive AWP. Simple is getting neutralized in this game right now. He's holding his own. He's playing fine. But, you know, this is a man that we don't expect to play fine. We expect to play well. 12 and 13. Already had the chance to shine in this map so far. Oh, they're going back to long. A late take. It's the corner smoke for Blame. We've got Boomich in the pit with a CZ. No support from anyone on the site as well. So good luck, Boomich. Flashes are going to come through for Cole, and this should be their position for free.
Oh, Boomich, they know you got 6 bullets. Yeah, that's a bit of a rough spot to be in. Config just deletes him. Now, while this is happening, look at a man named Flamey. Simple's even taken lower tunnels, and they were aggressing into middle. Complexity, they just pumped the brakes. And they're trying to show Navi, now, like, we can give as good as we can take, right? These slow rounds, they might have been what you were running in that first half of play, but we can dish them out as well. I do think that Dust 2, any team that plays Dust 2 well, they're very, very familiar with just having to slow this right down. That is kind of how Dust 2 plays, right? It's essentially just 3 lanes, and so you're kind of vying for control of them. And you will get rewarded, especially in a situation like this, when you're in a 5-on-4 and the CTs are feeling that pressure. Recuperate lost men, and recuperate them they do. Blame F now, trying to pick up the pieces, and Blame with the mow down. It's 3-4 in the hat-trick in the round. No play in the Blame game today as Complexity salvage a 13.
Yeah, you know, it's the mind games. Navi know what's going on. Last time that happened back on long, they still had Flamey at B. This time they just put all 4 players on the site and they flash in for the peaks. I like the first flash. They go in, they trade for 3 for 1. They set up really well, but it's the second pop right back in. That's when, you know, Cole are expecting it. They weren't ready for it the first time around. The second, they've just stopped in their tracks and they're holding on. Blame, he almost runs out of mouse map by the looks of things, but he does find the kills. 13-7, only an eco for Navi, and again they make it interesting, but interesting is not what we need. We need results, we need wins for Natas Vincia, especially on their map pick. Yet to find a round in the second half. It's 5 in a row for Cole. This is it, the time, now or never basically. Simple's got the AWP. He got 1 in the last time he had it from Gandalf, got cancelled out by Poison's shot. And so we need another Simple-esque play here coming through. He's going to get boosted up, I think, on the site. Yeah, he's watching Cat from a range. But for Cole, they haven't even gone to B, and now they're going to hit it hard.
Yeah, Flamey and Perfecto, they've really got to stand the test of time. Flash is raining in. Perfecto boxed in and dealt with now. Flamey back of the site while he is good for 1. The follow-up is in for Rush. Blame is even holding for these mid-rotations. Down goes the first. Missed shot from Simple, and another from Blame F. Now, just Simple left on the other side, but he's quite the man to tango with. Rush and Poison. They're holding down B. Now, normally you'd be looking at a save here, and that might be a decision that Simple has to make. That is a horrific call to give over 14, to only have this AWP to fight with in the follow-up round. That is going to be the only weapon that Navi are clinging onto.
Cole, man, great calls all through this game. Even though Navi haven't like been baited into going 4A or anything there, they still had that heavy B site setup with Perfecto on the car, with another man at the back of the site. It's just not an issue. Blame locks down the rotations by sitting in the mid to B smoke. Cole go very early as well, not telegraphing anything, not trying to fake out by throwing the cat smoke, which Navi might even read into. They just hit B hard, and they hit it fast, and Navi have no way to stop them. Poison even misses his shot to the player at the back of the site, I think it was Flamey, and Rush just saves him there. Rush has a huge round with a double entry into B.
One of the things that I imagine you feel the same way here about this Complexity squad is obviously with Config being in it, I think the timing on getting Config into this team was great because you hit like that point in his career where he realized that he is really good, but he also needs to, you know, like work on himself as an individual and try and be a bit more, you know, pliable. But as well as that, I think, you know, even if you ever had like some of those semblances of the old Config ever shining through, he's finally with an IGL who just commandeers respect in the server. Like, he is so damn good. He knows the game like the back of his hand. He's always up towards the top of the board. He's a fellow countryman of Config, and he's jacked. So, you know, like, you're not going to be ever questioning a decision to play mate. It's like having Semphis as your IGL, right? There's only so much you could say. But I love it, man. I love this composition on the side of Complexity. I really do think you just have a series of players that complement each other so damn well. And then this fantastic figurehead in Blame F at the top. Simple over here with the AWP over at short side. He's mollied out of the round already. Complexity, they've got Catwalk. They fought for it. Simple is still here floating around, playing that AWP drop-down position. But you look at how Complexity have structured this round. They've got Oboe holding onto tunnels. They've got Rush over towards long. They can go anywhere based on the results of these opening fights. So they've left their options so open at this point in time that they are in full control of this round. And we're going to be relying on a big performance from someone like Electronic if they do keep coming his way to turn the tide for Navi.
Oh, Electronic, he sees two. He's going to peel off Simple. He has to make a difference here, but Poison's already waiting for it. Despite the double cross for Cole, Poison was waiting in the doors, and Simple is cold. It's going to be a 5-on-3. Two in middle. Nice shot from Perfecto. He doubles up. This man can wield any weapon to great success, and now he's got an AK at his feet. Throws it over to his teammate. Electronic grabs on as well. Perfecto downgrades. Poor guy. It's going to be Navi trying to retake the A site, but it will be on a delay. That molly comes at a perfect point for Cole. It's going to allow them to pick post plants as well. Rush going back to long. Triple cat retake. One flash and a molly to go through. Here come Navi.
This flash on Poison could make such a difference for Config as he sits over on Goose. The flash is out. It's a good flashbang, and down goes Electronic. Perfecto turning away. He's on to his third in this round. Ooh, Flamey trying to bait the shot. Perfecto now needs the ace to pick up a 15th for for Navi, rather deny the 15th. That's what I meant to say. But don't worry, I've fumbled my words, and it doesn't matter because Perfecto isn't attempting the 1v2 ace clutch that he would have to offer us.
This is just a great cool T-side for Cole, right? They just had the right answer at every time with only one B hit needed, right? They've gone back to these long takes. Simple's been cut down every time he's tried to make a difference, play aggressive up on the catwalk. He's been mollied back. That round, you know, Boomich gets spotted along. Simple tries to make a difference by peeking back in. Poison's already posted. Just Cole have had the answer for everything Navi have thrown at them. And 15-7, this was an 8-7 half. Navi have not done anything in the CT side. This might just be a clean-cut, flawless victory for Cole. We've got a double off for Navi. We know what Flamey can do. He's had a great game so far, despite the scoreline. Maybe the second AWP could be a solution as well. Electronic up on catwalk, peers into middle, sees nothing. Does that force a B rotation? Flamey's gone back to it. We got the triple boost to look at the back of the plat, but Perfecto is playing close. Uh-oh, here comes Flamey. If he jumps up, that could be an issue. The nade in, Poison, falls off. And Cole, they won't commit. Not yet. That bomb is still back in T-spawn. Rush holding on to long. It looks like they just want to burst their way in, though, and this is where Flamey can come alive. If Poison gets that kill there, Cole just rush in. But now they've actually smoked their own exit off, and they're going to go back elsewhere.
Look at them go. The round's restarted. They're leaving T-spawn, and now they're trying to run the gauntlet in towards this A site, but Navi still with quite the force to be reckoned with. Simple over here at long, has Boomich with him. Boomich moving in behind the blue bin, and he gets the information. They know he's there, but Simple is here to help out, and suddenly you realize you've left this B site, but now you've walked into the Lion's Den. Flash goes over, Simple is off the angle. Boomich somehow good for one before he's dealt with, and Simple still putting up these numbers, holding on too long, and he's just not budging. Simple on 3, and only Blame F left to beat. It's not gonna be easy, but Simple finally delivering what we were hoping for. Lots of damage. The Molly's gonna burn him out. A 1v3, but so little time. Not enough time for Blame F to get anything done here. He's just looking to hold on to the AWP. So it's 8 for Navi. Simple gets them there, but they still need 7 in a row.
They mollied out Boomich, right? But it lands on top of the blue box. And we know how much mollies climb up and down walls, but there it doesn't. Boomich lives forever in a position that's on fire. He's just sitting in it, barely taking any damage. Finally has to swing out and make a move. The difference there for Simple as well is he's not like constantly re-peeking for the kills. He's waiting on Boomich as well. If anything, sort of like baiting him, but that's what Navi need to do in order to win the round. Simple's not rushing the gunfights in anticipation of Poison's post. Config on the AWP, but he's going to get caught out by Simple. Nice stuff. The double AWP for Cologne this round does not work, or at least the secondary. It's Poison's try back to Catwalk instead. Navi. Someone's... Oh! What?
Oh, Electronic gets absolutely wiped out. Flamey now flashed out of CT. The smoke's going in, and he doesn't even get the information that they're not committing to this one. They smoke off the CT position. Navi rotate heavily into CT, but Flamey has gone through that smoke on the back of the flashes. He now knows that this has to be a B play with everyone coming from tunnels, and Perfecto, first man's gotten in, but he holds down this B site valiantly. He puts up 2, and he leaves Navi with a man advantage. And Flamey, by the way, remember him? He was coming in on this flank earlier on. Well, he's still here. He's still a danger, and Complexity have got no idea. He could tear this whole round away right now, and he will. Navi, a 9th to their name, as this comeback starting to get some legs on it, but it's still a long way to go.
Yeah, and it's up against 15, which is always the worst to try and pull that back. And all the time that Flamey's coming in on the flank, the reason no one's even considering it is because, you know, Cole have bigger problems, or at least they think they do. Right in front of them is Simple jumping through the window. That shot is unbelievable for Poison. Dear, oh dear. But yeah, Navi, better late than never, hey? Getting some rounds on the board. This double AWP is still here. Rush, he has loads of cash. Yeah, get some more Deegs in play. Drop one over. Everyone needs to be armed here. Obo isn't, but Flame's got that hero AK. Rush at least donning the utility. He has the flashbang that could get these players up cat, but he's going to have to throw it from deep long. Plenty of ways to do that. And here it comes. Config leading the charge. There's no one here. Navi have put that up back on the long corner. Leaning heavily into the middle and B area. Cole, Cat might be theirs, but Navi know it. They've got the info spotting down mid thanks to Perfecto, and he's continuing to put on the pressure towards the doors. Cole, this should be a round where you definitely get a plant. It's just how much more. And, well, I say definitely. Simple, he's going to look to put a stop to that. Molly down, smoking the spawn. Simple going to jump up on the car with that utility. And, oh, no, he just gets spammed. They see him. They're ready for that play. Electronic needs to do the heavy lifting here in CT.
Blame F perched up on the side there like Batman, trying to be the hero they need. Backs away for now. Has this hero AK. Boomich out from long. He needs that kill. Config's going to find it. Surely the eco isn't how Complexity get this game over the line. Config dealt with. And now just Rush and Obo left. Only Rush now in the 1v3. They're in the site, but no one's on the bomb yet. Rush trying to hold on. Oh, he's got them all! Rush, what a way to take it! 16 for Complexity, and Rush digs them down, baby. What a way to take Dust 2. That is absolutely stellar. Navi, they've got to try and pick up the pieces on Nuke, the map pick of Complexity. Join us after a quick break. Woo!
my own destiny. I raise my gun to the sky and scream out loud. This is my life, this is my hope, this is what I stand for. Now is the time to let it all. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch like a night on a fighter. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch like a night on a fighter. We will watch like a night on a Not to lose the game. The darkest night is always seen. Wait on the nothing, we're face to face. I've heard about you, you know about me. Already enough not to lose the game. The darkest night is always seen. Wait on the nothing, we're face.
Woo! William, a sweet 3K with the dig on Dust2 to finish off Navi on the CIS team's own map. That is BM if I ever saw it, Hugo.
Yeah, Navi, Harry said a great comment during the off time, which I got to agree with. It felt like in so many of those rounds, from even the get-go, from the opening round of the map, Navi were like, yeah, we've won this round. We can afford to do whatever we want. And then they would just lose it, right? Like, Complexity never let go, strangling them out, choking them out every single round. Look at the hype cams here for Cole. I can't imagine how that felt for Navi. Headsets immediately off.
Yeah.
Smoke break, guys.
Yeah, you see the difference, right? But like Complexity, they were so happy with how everything went down there. It was just looks of joy. They couldn't believe it. Rush like looked astonished with himself.
They've given me that one.
Yeah. And Navi, man, like, Electronic hurls that headset off. And that must feel very, very frustrating because for Navi, I think there were so many rounds in that game that were given away by the Navi side that didn't need to be. You know, even thinking back to the pistol, Dupree tweeted out about it. That 4-on-2, if Navi had just kind of picked, right, are we going to play safe around the bomb or are we going to take these fights? If they'd just done either one convincingly, then maybe it would have been a very different story. And then there at the end, Hugo, you mentioned this to me, Flamey is in elevator. He is holding for the short peak. No one even makes the effort to tap the bomb. Everyone's challenging Rush at short. And I understand why, right? Like, you don't want to give him the room, so you're trying to just take the kill while you got it. But they give him the room in doing so, right? It's like, it's such a double-edged sword. I don't know, man. And those are the most horrible games because it's like, you know, the same way that we're looking at this, Navi must be looking at this, right? There's so many different ways that those rounds could have panned out, were just one or two tiny, what feel like minute decisions in the moment were made differently. It maybe could have been a very different outcome. Blame F had a great game as well. That's always a treat. I mean, he always has a great game. He's always on his A game. And on the other side of things, it was Flamey actually performing very, very well for Navi. While that's great for Flamey, it always makes me a bit worried when we're not at the end of these games talking about Simple.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like Simple had a bad game, but Cole were really good at shutting him out. It felt like Blame was in like 3 different 2v4s with like Poison, Rush, and Config. They were just winning every disadvantage they could. And you know, another player who didn't perform right, you can talk about Simple, sure, maybe he doesn't drop 35 kills, he's still there, he's still second for his team. Electronic was silent, he was not even in the server, 9 in 20 at the end of things. Like, I barely even said his name in that map. I don't really know. It's just a slow start from Navi again. They look good against Mousesports the other day, but we know the Mousesports just got wrecked. So, you know, putting that up on the tally of X team versus X team, I don't know where to hold Navi anymore. Cole looked really, really good. And Navi, Nuke coming up after, that's not going to be easy.
I was interested in the two sides of complexity in a way. Like, Poison for me took a while to get warmed up. He missed some really, really crucial shots on the AWP, and then in the second half, like a different player.
Yeah, you know, that's always been the thing with Poison, right? Like I kind of said going into that game, it feels like, you know, sometimes he's really, really feeling it. I think he's someone who it does take a bit to warm up. We know he's had his problems with things moving online in terms of, you know, the internet and even just that adjustment. It feels like it has hit him relatively, I don't want to say harshly, because he still has these games where he's absolutely nuts. But I don't think he's the most consistent player on Complexity by a large margin. But I think that's why you have him there in a sense, right? You already have some very, very consistent players. Like, you know what you're getting out of like the following three players, really. I feel like you know what you're getting from Obo, you know what you're getting from Rush, you know what you're getting from Blame, and then you have like Config and Poison as like these two X factors that can show up on the day in a very, very big way and pull their team over the finish line almost single-handedly.
Well, we'll see if Complexity can do it and to pull their way over the finish line and all the way into the playoffs after this break.
Not to lose the game. No way. No way. No way. Not to lose the game. 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 The darkest night is always seen. Wait on and nothing, we're face to face. I've heard about you, you know about me. Already enough not to lose the game. The sweetest touch I've ever felt. The sweetest things I got with your kiss. Let's stay forever in this embrace, mixing the sunrise with the ocean breeze. No way, no way, no way, not to lose the game. No way, no way, no way, not to lose the game. No way, no way, no way, not to lose the game. No way, no way, no way, not to lose the game. Not to lose the game. Not to lose the game. Lose the game. Lose the game. Not to lose the game. Lose the game. Lose the game. Lose the game. Not to lose the game.
Complexity have an early lead on Navi. And before we get into Nuke, I need to hand straight over to a man with such tasty takes. They named a burger after him. I'm talking about Hugo Byron, and he wants to tell me that I'm completely wrong about Poison in the first half of Dust 2. And essentially, I missed many, many tricks from that AWPer.
I wouldn't say that, Frankie. You're throwing yourself under the bus. I think Poison, you know, he wasn't flashy in terms of getting like 3 or 4 Ks every round, but he was out dueling Simple. And that's something that we talked about prior to the map in a big question mark and a hard thing to do. How do you out-AWP Simple? It's not that easy. Poison makes it look so, and now he's going to continue to do so over on Nuke. It's the second map of the series. It's Cole's pick. They're already up by 1, and you can hear the crowd there getting pretty wild here in the Laxus Arena. Harry, take it away.
Yes, indeed. Pistol round about to begin, and it's Navi with the CT side start, and Complexity, what have they got up their sleeve? It's looking like a bit of a ramp play, and Flamey, well, Ramp Master drops on down and gets out of danger. Boomich comes rotating in, dropping that nade, and conceding ramp over to Cole. That might be their undoing now as this B site looks to become a problem. It's Obo in the pistol. Now back on Dust. He was a master with this Glock. Is he looking to repeat that now in this pistol round? He's dinked up Electronic. Boomich is around, but he can't find the kill on a config. How is he still alive? Finally, Perfecto's like, don't worry, Boomich, man, I got you, bro. He shuts him down, and we're into this 4-on-4. Simple helps out with the CZ. And now we need someone to step up here for Complexity, because suddenly it's all fallen onto a man going by the name of Blame. There's the first down, but Perfecto pivoting, deals with him. Navi, they find the pistol.
Oh my, Navi, that was on a knife's edge. Simple just comes in and saves the day. Look at how many low players there were, just tagged up by Obo's Glock, doing the damage. Yeah, Simple with the CZ. You always see him get dropped this on pistol rounds if he doesn't buy it himself, and he just slaughters there on the retake for Navi. Nice stuff. Clean as you can get it. And Navi, it's a big pistol round win, right? Especially with Obo finding that opening kill onto Flamey and B. Looked like it could have all fallen apart. But no, Navi, they hold strong. Deeg's out now for Cole. Simple's in the garage, waiting around with the M4. Trying to spot that cross to Secret. Get any info. He's got to hold this. He's got no support outside. His teammates coming in from lower, which is nice, but okay, that's reasonable. Simple's going to find 2 in just 5 bullets. There's a third, and he doesn't have to fight for it. Okay, he can if he wants, and he does, so he will. Electronic's not needed down in Secret. It's just Rush with 1, swapping to the Deeg, and trying to deal with Perfecto pushed in the lobby. We've seen this Deeg from Rush, but that's all we'll see from it, at least for now. Navi 2-0 up. Simple starting strong. He can drop that to Flamey as well and buy the AWP if he wants. Always an option here. And that would give Flamey the utility for ramp. But we'll see how Navi try to spread this economy over. Honestly, the sooner we get Simple on the AWP, the better. And yeah, he has got it. Flamey's taking the hit. The M4 goes to the hands of Electronic, who did have a rough opening map, but Nuke, we know how good he can be in that secret position, constantly rotating outside. He's doing it again in this round. So let's see if he can put a stop to Blame.
So pre-player break, when we saw Boomich on Nuke, he was just the wildest stallion I've ever seen, man. Like, this guy, he would always just be playing SMG and, like, rush these lobby smokes and stuff. It feels like we've seen him temper that aggression a hell of a lot. And you know, I do think it was starting to become a bit of a problem for Navi. Like, when it was working, it was great, it was funny, you know, everyone was having a good time. But now we see him, you know, just floating in between main, playing these more like standard positions. And I like that from Boomich. He's a smart guy. I don't think I picture him having to rush in and out-aim all of his opponents. I like him out-braining them. Here he is alongside Perfecto. And here comes that aggression from Boomich. Signature by nature. Flash goes round. And are they going to clear this close angle? The moment he hears these players falling back, Boomich aggresses in through the hut and just blindsides Poison. Config's going to follow up, and the MP9s get made quick work of. Simple even falls without getting any usage out of that AWP. Electronic now trying to hold down the B site, and he will rally the players around him now with the rotation coming through from Perfecto and Boomich. Blame's inside of the A site. Obo begins his rotation back up through ramp. Blame is going to lock this side of the map down. Perfecto in the vent. If he tries to come on up, he's in for a nasty surprise. You can see all three players looking for a safe passage over towards Secret. And actually, as I say that, Electronic is going to come up the vents a little bit later. Once his teammates have got a bit of a foothold here in the site, the attention's drawn away from main, and that's Obo caught out. Blame F now in the clutch, tagged on the initial peak. Electronic and Boomich getting closer. The flash is very, very good indeed. But he's getting wrapped, and this should be the lock-in. Navi, they mop that one up. They recover from what was a 3-on-4.
Yeah, they rotate heavy B, and I don't blame them, because Config finds this double opening kill on ramp, and even drops Simple with the AWP, who misses his opening shot. Navi, they rotate heavy lower. Blame does find that timing that's so nice, but yeah, Navi, they realized it before Cole had even got that bomb down. They were already rotating Secret. And Electronic stays vent because that allows him to jiggle on the ladder and get info. He also has a flash as well that he does save until the end. But yeah, it lets him spot his head up. It's a dangerous play if there's an enemy top heart or close door, but there was not. And so he gets the info for his team. Navi find the retake. And things are looking a lot better here on this CT side. Cole broke for the time being. That bomb plant's given them a bit of sustenance, but it will be coming down to just pistols with a Galil and a couple of MAC-10s. Topside Rush coming through. Rush setting up the flash, and they're going to go quickly in. Oh dear, Rush has got the entry, and Electronics has gone as well. This is falling apart for Navi on a round that it really shouldn't. That bomb getting planted for main. There is cover and a smoke down. Flaming Simple, finding quick shots. And actually, sorry, the smoke was not in main. It was towards door, and so an open killing ground for Navi. Simple finding two big flicks and denying that bomb plant for Cole.
Well, our analyst down on the sidelines in Dupree has weighed in with oh my goodness, I've ruined that, haven't I?
Yeah.
Weighed in. Oh my God, Dupree, what have you done to me, man?
Opinion.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Frankie. He said Simple will drop 35 plus frags this map. Trust me, that's what he said. Maybe not like a pirate like I did. It's just loads of Danish A's, which I don't know how they differ from other A's, but they do.
I'm firing Dupree. I think he's completely wrong.
Ooh, that's quite a cool. That's quite a cool to make, Frankie.
Frankie, speaking
You're going
of
toe-to-toe with Dupree, Astralis legend. Okay, okay, things are heating up a little bit here. Let's see. We got a war between Dupree and Frankie. One that, if history's anything to go by in the show matches, Frankie's pretty keen. So, let's see. Flamey trying to hold on to the ramp room. Gets bested right away by Rush. Man advantage taken for Complexity, and ramp now locked on in. World's their oyster at this point. They can ramp hell, they can try and get into the A site, or they can just drop down into B. They do have one man firing some shots off. That was Rush. But it's not a commitment. This has, however, forced a real change in this hold from Navi. They drop players down preemptively into that B site. Complexity now going back to the lobby, looking like they want to try and split A. And nobody is inside of this bomb site for Navi. Perfecto has just rotated into heaven. He's going to be able to get this information, but is it too little too late, especially with Blaine ready to pincer Electronic, who just gets blindsided. Down goes Perfecto as well, and this should be a call round.
Yeah, that's a really good luck. Blame lets Electronic get in there, not aware, of course, which could have gotten very dangerous if he mows down those door players after A looked clear. But he comes in after Electronic fires shots. He finishes him off. And Simple, he's going to fall in this one, but he's still 8-2. Frankie's looking at me like she's right. He has 8 kills, Frankie. Keep that in mind. We're only 5 rounds in. Let's give it time. Let's wait and see, because
Just for Frankie, he's about to break the world record, hit like a 60 bomb in one game of Nuke.
I'm all for it.
I'm ready.
I want a competitive series here, and I don't want Navi getting blown out of the water, especially after that performance on Dust. I think now they definitely know what they're up against. They know it's not going to be easy, but the results are there. 4-1, Cole find their first. Navi are broke, but Simple has indeed got that AWP back in his hands. Ooh, the spam is good. Bit of damage to Blame. He will get down. And he's actually on his own as well. We've got late lurkers from the rest of Cole in getting into this position. Electronic won't see a thing. These smokes will fade soon, and so they need to get into their spot. Simple. He's in the right place. He's found the right time. But has he got the shot? Yes, of course. It's Simple. Config down. Simple repositioning around the other side of the vents, and that might just send Navi, oh sorry, Cole out of this position. They want nothing to do with the Ukrainian AWP prodigy, and so they'll go back towards outside.
Ooh, electronic. Bit of damage through the smoke. Now complexity. Creeping and crawling their way into heaven.
Navi, no.
Yeah, this is a nice response, right? This is what you'll see. If you lose outside control, CT sides, they often then retake this lobby area just to solidify that it's not going to be a split in through the lobby. They get that control. They have an angle to fall back into. And now they only have to watch main and heaven. However, that's still a task in and of itself. And Electronic, while he is good for one, he gets mopped up very, very quickly afterwards. Simple in the heart, looking for another, and Obo just going to come out ahead there. Flamey dropped in heaven, and it all falls onto Perfecto. Well, he does get the first man. Immediate trade from Poison, and a second on the board for Complexity.
Yeah, Navi, it felt like they had that info, right? They clear lobby, they know what's going on. They're a little scared of Secret considering Simple fell back out of it. But him and Flamey hang around on ramp. And yeah, we have Boomich fighting heaven with a CZ. Now, when I watch pros use that gun, they're incredible. And they hit some great shots. Think of Favin on Nuke yesterday. But yeah, holding that angle with that weapon is just so hard to get much value out of it. And that gives Rush the entry into A. Complexity just collapse on the site as a result. Poison from the main side. Cole, they've broken Navi's money nice and early into this game. Flame's going to move down lower. I love how fast he is. He just runs this one every single time. Electronic's not even ready for a player to be there. And the rest of Cole are walking. So Navi, they can go, oh yeah, Flame is B, but they don't know about anything else. They have no clue that the entire entourage of this T side is creepy crawling behind Red to Secret. There's still Rush waiting in the lobby as well, in case Navi want to try and get info and position. They do anything but. They rotate outside to come through Secret, flanking Complexity, but this isn't a position that's going to catch anyone off guard. Obo should go back and watch, and he does. Navi now considering lobby. They can find Rush, that's a gun, but he is keeping his distance, and a very safe play from Rush on an eco round here. He doesn't need to farm kills, he just needs to get out alive and deny Navi taking away his AK.
Boomich is so cheeky, man. He wanted to run it at the end. He wanted to transform himself into the Doja nade and do as much damage as he could when that bomb goes off and take players down. But didn't exactly go that way. It's a third on the board now for Complexity. They really started to get back into the swing of things here after that kind of troublesome beginning with Navi looking good on the back of the first few rounds going their way. What's the response going to be from Navi? Simple on a FAMAS. In fact, pretty much everyone on the FAMAS. Electronic is the only guy like laughing to himself. That's why you don't buy kits, Simple, says Electronic. Simple, team player. And now the A play looking to come through. They've already lost Boomich very, very quickly. Oh, Perfecto didn't realize they were already in the site. It's down into the belly of the beast. Electronic on the other side of this smoke. He has dodged these shots. He looks even ready for Rush tucked behind the boxes. There's the first, not quite the follow-up as Config somehow, some way, still fighting. It's a fourth on the board for Complexity with Flamey having a save.
I just love how Blame calls these rounds. He always knows when the right time to make a rush round like that happen, right? He knows that Navi have low utility, and as a result, that A site is so much more susceptible to players just pushing fast out of hut and door. Config with a triple opening kill, Rush alongside him. I love that tag team 1-2 punch of Config and Rush entering into sites being such a hassle. And, well, Navi, another round that will be forgotten, at least for them. It's just Flamey getting away with his lone FAMAS and nothing behind it. Navi, they have to equal this one. Just look at this tag team. It's so good. Through the smoke, into the head. Config finds 3. Yeah, it's just casual. It's just chill. Nothing too special. It's Cole finding a fourth, and Navi, they've got to take a bit of a breather here into round number 9. Worth noting as well, Cole have a hell of a lot of money. So even after Navi eco this one, that I imagine is going to be even higher up. And Navi are going to have to win many rifle rounds, or at least do damage in the ones that they do lose to break that bank. And that's always such a hassle on the CT side, right? Now, in this position, it's equal, it's fine. And you know, this game has become more T-sided. We're seeing that in play. But for Navi, for Cole at least, rather, you know, they are set up for a winning half, really, with the bank that they have right now. And it's only going to get better.
Yeah, not much for Navi to work with here. And Complexity, they are quick to get Blame F across. They throw like a diagonal set smokes over here towards outside to facilitate that crossing. Blame's going to go toe-to-toe with Simple. This is a fight I would pay money to see. And we get it for free, so how sick is that? Blame. Who takes this? Heavyweight in the vent, and Blame locking in that kill. Now into a 5-on-4, and this is now the penny dropping that there's a man down lower. This might jiggle around this hold from Navi just a little bit. And that's exactly what Blame wants. That's the whole reason for him being here in the first place, is just to make the remaining players now get a bit uncomfortable. Electronic and Boomich, they've got this crossfire between main and outside, but Boomich gets smoked off. He's going to struggle to live up to his side of the deal, and he goes through the smoke and gets beheaded by Obo. This round's falling apart. Complexity, they're on to a winner. They're on to a 5th.
Yeah, it wasn't an eco for Navi, right? And they were gambling. They were giving up a lot of positions. Ramp was open. Electronic was giving room outside because he had no other choice. He had to hide at the back of the garage. And that's just giving Cole so much room to strafe out, take these wide angles, clear yard. And they're so slow and sweaty at doing it as well, right? It's not like they're just rushing as a unit down towards B or taking over ramp, which could be stacked with pistols. No, they're just waiting. They know that eventually as he smokes fade, Navi want to try and get info and see where Cole are going. And another round with 5 alive by the looks of things.
I'm going to continue down a little path of our all-Danish secondary broadcast talent, Hugo. We actually have a tweet now from Pimp that I found very, very interesting, and he always makes good points, does Pimp. I'll give him that at least, right? So he tweeted saying, one thing that's massively underrated is the understanding of an entry fragger's stats. If you play like Dupree or Electronic, you can't hide on the map. You're out there and you're in the front fighting all the time. Players like Simple, Device, etc. can hide a bad performance better. And that's quite interesting because I've never, you know, obviously we know the entry fraggers are the guys running in, leading the charge. I've never thought about it in that way, right? But it is very, very true. Like when you have people like Electronic, you know, standing tall alongside the rest of the squad, the guys who are going in first, it is that much more impressive because they are the front of the battering ram. You know, they're the things getting churned on up on these site pushes. So it's like, yeah, they have more chances to get kills, but also they have a lot more stacked against them on every single one of these takes. Hugo.
Damn, dude, that Jacob guy's smart. He should be an analyst.
Yeah, man.
Any pimpers in chat? 5-4, Cole. Yeah, dude. Better than Simpers.
Obviously, there was almost a world. Pardon?
We prefer pimpies.
Pimpies. Pimpers to the pimpy to the pimple. And well, looking for a spot towards outside, it's Complexity. As they slowly but surely meander their way outside, it's going to be Electronic holding the line here. Simple gets boosted up into this little goblin corner, the Goblin King of Navi. Oh.
One fell on his head as he tried to jump.
Who was it? Who's the culprit? I think it was Rush. It was Rush. Denies Convict the jump up onto Silo. And now they start to move through outside with these smokes to accompany them.
Yeah, Simple's lower. He's taking up Electronic's position. They've swapped out, and so Electronic's going to try and flash him into a spot, but at this point, Cole are already crossing. They're already getting down to B. You can see Poison as well. They're doing it again. Cole just waiting as he smokes fade, hoping that Navi assume they have more room than they do outside. Late utility coming in. Molly towards credit card. Config throws it deep as well. Electronic, he's going to try and pivot behind his blue box. Config knows there's only one place he can be, and he's going to remove him from the round. Now Simple, he is so far away from doing anything. He's deep in B, and he's waiting for this cross down, but Cole with that kill are going to go towards A. They're taking Heaven. Config is in a big spot. Flamey has been pinched out by Poison from Hell. There's still 2 players on A. Boomich in the hut could deny the bomb. And Perfecto, he can't hold on. It's Boomich's chance to shine. 11 seconds on that clock. Flashing out, trying to be an issue. Obo's blind. He needs to put that bomb right down. His teammates are chasing them. 4 seconds as the plant comes through. Only just for Complexity. And Simple, sadly, sorry, but you're avoided this time.
As is often feeling like the case. Wants to try and hold on to the M4. That's really all Navi have to look forward to at the end of this round. It's a 6th on the board for Complexity. Hugo, heading into this game, we were saying that whenever these 2 teams face, it feels like, you know, it's always a 3-map series. It's always the map picks of each team going their way in a reasonably dominant fashion. But that is not looking like the case right now, with Dust 2 siding in favor of Complexity pretty one-sidedly. And now this T side really starting to get some momentum behind it. Config even reaching max cash alongside Obo and Poison. Complexity, I don't see a world in which this half at least falls apart.
No, especially not with, as we mentioned, that money that continues to build with 4 alive in that round. Like the last 4 rounds in a row that Col have won, they've only lost 2 players across 4 rounds. Like, that's crazy, man. And you know, it's not like they're playing into what Navi want to do. It's just like chaotic CT size, lots of fast trading where Navi can get those one-on-ones or 2v2s and close them out. No, Col are just sweating the time, sweating the clock. A plant with a second remaining that round, and now they speed it up. Now they go quick. The utility isn't there for Navi. They've not even seen Obo. There's a player on top of the hut. He's so blind, and now he's dead. Simple has to do it all here from Heaven. Finally in a position where he can put a stop to this play, but the molly is going to send him down the ladder. Flamey has taken up that spot instead. Electronic getting spammed. That is a lot of damage. Simple, he's tucked in main. He's completely rotated round. They're not going to expect this with the smoke. Oh no, that might even just force a save for Navi. They need kills and they need them now. Electronic swapping the orb could flash Flamey into the site. I think Electronic's just saving no matter what happens here at this point. He's flashing from CT. Here comes Flamey from upper. Rush is ready for it. Electronic blind after Flamey's flash. Dear, oh dear, this is, or vice versa rather. That's just so unlucky. Not just the smoke in main, which basically, again, renders Simple useless. But the flashbang doesn't even hit its mark, or at least it wasn't dodged by Flamey, not correctly. Rush pivots from behind the boxes. And yeah, okay, Navi get away with an orb and Simple on the rifle that can be swapped back, but I'm really just looking for positives here, and there are none to say. Complexity, they are in full control right now. Simple, he was 8-1 at the start of this map. He's now 10-6. He's slowed it down, and that's all due to Complexity. 2 players on 15K post-buy, of course.
Ooh, I want to try and go fast into ramp. Flamey, oh, he's forced to take this fight. And while he does get one, that's the end of his journey in this round. Now falling onto the 4 remaining players. Simple immediately rotating into B, and we might finally get Simple having a taste of the action. Here he is on the AWP, but it's only the tag through the glass. Disaster for Simple. He lands the shot he needs to land. Sadly, it just falls a little short. He's got to watch from beyond the grave, but the rest of Navi are at least doing right by him. They've turned this into a 3-on-2 retake. Now Complexity back on Dust. They won numerous 2-on-4s. This one is one step easier by comparison. Navi, they slow right down. They've got Perfecto over here at ramp side. Poison's holding for it. There's the peak. The Deeg missing, but it doesn't. On the 3rd and 4th, Rush holding for the window peak. Down goes one, and Poison with the trade. Complexity 8 as another round that's stacked against them goes their way. The money still, I mean, it's unreal. 16 grand on almost everyone now. This is incredibly dominant from Cole.
Of course, Simple gets cheesed by that glass, right? He shoots Config, but he hits him through the glass, through the pane, and he feels the pain as he only does damage. Think about how when Cole have like taken ramp and done things like that, or even thrown those outside smokes and sent Blame fast, Navi have heavy rotated to B with like 3 players, and then the amount of times that Blame's walked out A and Cole have gone back Well, Navi, they've been burned before, so they only rotate one man down, and as a result, when it actually is B, they're not ready for it. And Cole, they just take the site and take the round. Now an eco for Navi once again. We've been here before. Electronic coming up secret. Oh, he almost catches Blame, but Blame swivels and hits the shot. And now, Cole, look at the room they've got off the back of that, right? Navi send one down lower. They're going to try and push Lobby. It's a good call, but it's exactly what Rush is expecting. And he takes down Flamey. Boomich has picked up the secret position, but it's of little value when not only is Blame watching it from outside, but the rest of Cole are flanking A. We got Config in heaven. They have so much control in the map right now. And the info is there. Navi has been spotted and dealt with 9-4. They're just reading them like a book, man. They know what the Navi's protocols are. They know where these rotations are coming through. They know how Navi react when Complexity takes certain areas. And the results are showing. 9-4 on this T side. Navi, they were 4-0 up in this map. We've had some incredible nuke games here at Cologne. Not just that Sprout 13-round T-side yesterday against OG to get to the playoffs, but this is a great called half as well from Cole.
Oh, first time we see a bit more aggression here, and Electronic has not been discreet in it. Blame. Big old pair of ears, and he's heard it. Well, he spots Simple. Simple playing up on top of the garage. Not often that you're ready for that, so Blame getting caught. Ramp aggression once again. Flamey has been struggling here, and the struggle will continue. Simple, quickly though. He was outside, now he's got a triple at ramp. This man, well, he's felt like he's been nowhere in these last few rounds. Now he's everywhere, and that's what we need from Simple. The glass taken out, Poison caught with the molly, but Electronic can't find the kill, and Poison, 1 HP, still alive, still able to play into this round. He tries to plant. But yeah, that's a bit of a worry. Obo now left in the clutch. He was 1v3. He's turned it in to a 1v2. Obo, an instrument of death. It's another, but he gets caught. He tried to go back through the window and he didn't jump. That's a disaster. Close, but no cigar. Navi, they'll take a fifth.
How poetic is it that in the one round Navi finally get, Cole still take down 4 players, right? They still make it so expensive. So even as Navi win that round, it's not like they can have a sigh of relief like, oh, now last round of the half, guys, we've got everything we need. We can set ourselves up. We got the orb. No, you haven't. You are still broke. Simple's got that AWP at least, but nothing behind it, and a pistol on Boomich, and we've seen him struggle on that A site. Cole back to the yard. Blame is going to go knife out very fast. Electronic playing in the garage. And I like these smokes as well that Cole are throwing. You know, we usually see when you want to go for those wide ones, one main, one sandwich, and one garage. But these ones give Navi even less room to look for gaps. And, you know, play in the corner of those the close garage position. You see players sometimes sit in them and spot feet, spot legs across the secret. Navi don't have that luxury. And it's only Boomich on B as well. Now, he's playing a position for info. He's jump spotting. He's going to be able to call for rotations. How many did he see? Oh, now he knows. Now he knows. Run out of there, Boomich. Config's trapped him, though, with the door open. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. And, well, funnily enough, both of them are hard places. Electronic and Flamey taking one apiece, but Complexity plant on B.
Yeah, decon plant, and this time there are players there to hold on. Navi, they often approach these very, very slowly, very methodically, trying to group up before they make a play happen. And so as they move these players into position, that's given time to Complexity to get ready in this post-plant. Poison. Oh, the timing couldn't be worse. Back in, and down goes Simple. Oh, it's another for Poison. Can he get this third? There it is. Poison should have got this round dead to rights. And even maybe the fourth. Flamey will respond, but a 1v2 caught by Blame at ramp as they trade places. It's 10 on the board for Complexity. They reach double digits to round out this first half of play. More nuke coming up after the break.
I'd rather be. I've been searching for my own destiny. I raise my gun to the sky and scream out loud. This is my life, this is my hope, this is what I stand for. Now it's the time to let it all. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch it like a night of a fighter. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch it like a night of a fighter. We will watch it like a night of a fighter. I've been looking for a place that I'd rather be. I've been searching for my own destiny. I raise my gun to the sky and scream out loud. This is my life, this is my hope, this is what I stand for. Now it's the time to let it all. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch it like a night of a fighter. We are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch it like a night of a fighter. We will watch it like a night of a fighter.
Complexity, they're eyeing up playoffs and they think they look damn good right now. They might be getting there in a very, very fast, dominant fashion over Navi, who fell short back on Dust 2. Their map pick just moments ago. Here on Nuke, it's 10-5 at the end of the first half of play. Complexity feeling energized, the momentum behind them. This is a scary looking call right now, and a Navi that have fallen silent.
Yeah, this is a time to get loud, though, for Navi, right? T-side, their chance to control the pace. Whatever the practice results have been, it's time to show us what you got in your brain. Simple running yard fast. Blame is giving a lot of room outside. He is spotting and backing up towards CT. The flash is good. Poison's blind. And Simple's got the opening kill onto Rush. Great start. Oh, there's the trade. So immediate. Config waiting ramp side. They were not ready for that close spot. And he will trade 1-for-1 with Cole, a man up, still with a kit in hand. Navi. Where did they take this bomb? It's looking like it's coming out the door. Electronic. Oh, he hits a very good timing. Blame. Oh, I don't think Electronic's going to be ready for this position, though. He's not looking at it. Blame hits a shot, baited in by the player in Hell, and Perfecto is in Hell, stuck in a 1-on-3. Complexity already climbing up the ladder. They're already back on A, so it's not like that gap that was once open is now an option. He's got to win this fight, and Obo just won't give it away.
And now even a rotation into ramp. If Perfecto keeps going this way, he's running into quite the sticky situation. Blame crosses, Obo dinked and finished off now by Perfecto, but down through Hell. There's another man. They're just grouping up. They're keeping Perfecto boxed on in. 30 seconds here for this man. Bomb on his back, and that's all he's got going for him. Wants to try and get down into this B site. Poison gets the info. And now Perfecto is well aware. The Complexity know what's going on. Blame also broke the glass. That's great. That gives the illusion that he's not here in decon. Perfecto's got no idea. Blame, what a way to lock in the round. Perfecto's just getting teased. He might get the bomb planted, but no, they deny it. I love that from Blame F. So smart, man. Breaks the glass on his rotate down. And then, you know, you saw the confusion for Perfecto. He thinks he's like deduced it. He thinks he's put it together. But he couldn't be further from the truth.
We got Mr. Lake in the fan cams, though. He's there. He's ready and raring to go.
I mean, of course he is.
Yeah, of course. He's the biggest fan of Complexity, and I don't blame him. Right now, this is incredible. 11-5. We know how loud those comms get. If anyone hasn't seen the Complexity comm videos, I'd recommend you check them out. They are very entertaining. Complexity, yeah, they get hyped, man. There's a lot of big personalities on this team, and for good reason. Ooh, the fake vent drop. All gets swung, but Boomich wants nothing to do with it. Config has at least got his attention diverted, but this is not a round where Navi have a lot to play with. They're relying on 2 Deagles on Perfecto and Simple. Navi, they're just going to crunch ramp.
Oh, tricky for Obote. So many bodies coming his way. One is all the... Okay. Another dig out from Perfecto. And now into this 3-on-3. That's going to force a rotation out from Config. And look at Navi. Tricky as ever. They just slow it right down. Config drops that smoke, and that's going to give him a veil to cross behind the silo with this MP9. So they don't have to worry about B right now. They're going to have that information nice and early. Simple here. Going back into the lobby. Now, will he be ready for Rush, who has aggressed into this little corner at the hut? The rest of Navi slowly but surely clearing out hell. Simple. Oh dear. There it is. The aim punch wrecks him. And this is Complexity back in the advantage.
They've got to check this close corner. Config versus no armor. He could shred them to pieces. They drop in his face, but he shoots them right back. Config. Oh dear, just hiding in the back of the site. They have no idea, and it's nice and easy for Complexity, as it should be on that eco, or anti-eco rather. There's a chance, there's some damage done by Navi, but now they have to capitalize on the damage here with the rifle round. This is it. That's a danger of not only getting 10-5'd, but then losing the pistol as well. You're at such a disadvantage. You're really relying on 1 or 2 gun rounds in your entire T half, and if you don't win both of them, you're going to be in a very tough spot. They already are. Which is on UMP. Is he going fast somewhere here? Maybe towards the top of main. He's actually in the door, so looking to drop vent. I like that idea. Oh dear. Oh. Chasing them down. Config was not ready for that quick hunt. And Boomich is going to be in B already. Complexity, they're going to have to send some hard rotates down because Navi aren't going back to the yard. Despite Simple sitting here, they're running down Secret. No B rotates here for Cole.
Yeah, they've been very patient on it, right? And it's not uncommon for Navi to show their hand, slow it right down, and then change things up. This time it does it like a B commitment. Simple here. That fight means everything, really, because, you know, when it's a 4-on-5, you might be looking at that as a save for Complexity. Now that it's this 4-on-4, curious what the decision is. It will be a save call from Cole. Obviously, money isn't great, right? So they're just really trying to play a numbers game, as it were. You know, they want to keep this cash in good standing. I like this little setup as well. They send 3 back into CT to save, and then they leave Rush over here, hidden over towards Hell. So if these players in CT start to get hunted, they're going to have like a little crossfire set up on anyone from Navi. Not going to get to see the fruits of this come into play in this round. For Navi, it's more important that they keep their own money in good standing than it is to hunt down Complexity. But it's nice to see Navi arriving very, very quickly onto the board. And that 1 kill from Boomich onto Config makes all the difference.
Yeah, you put it right when you say that Complexity playing it by the numbers. It's definitely the safe call, right? It's a winnable round to retake B, but with them having gambled anyway, going, okay, guys, there's no point like risking losing 2 or 3 players and then trying to save. It's either all or nothing. Let's assume that Navi aren't hitting this B site. Let's hope for the best. And okay, if that doesn't come through, we have a full rifle round. We have another chance. I imagine if Navi start to do the same, pressure down lower, we'll actually see what Cole have in store in terms of those rotations. Navi back to Yard, though. Blame, he got spotted. Boomich is definitely seeing him cross towards Secret, and so Blame is going to get the hell out of there. He won't hang around and try and fight on the stairwell. He'll move instead towards the back of ramp, breaking the windows. He's got loads of util as well. He can defend against a ramp rush, but that's not what Navi are doing. They're setting up more Yard smokes. And these are more standard wide smokes, right? But the danger of this is you can have players peer through the gap at Sandwich and also the little juts in front of Garage as the Garage smoke lands kind of deep. You sometimes see players get cheesed by that. So that's why we see Complexity throw like a different variation of them, like the diagonal smoke, as you call them, Harry. So just worth noting.
Lots of utility going into this A bomb site. Navi, are they going to try and push in behind it? They've mollied out the CT vent, they've smoked off main, but no movement yet. They do have Boomich ready to wrap in over here through main. And so they've been waiting for him to get into position, but while this has happened, Perfecto's actually been taken care of. Flame F playing up here on the rafters, gets bested immediately, and Poison follows a similar fate, so it's Obo and Config left in a very unlikely 2v4. Especially when you look at Config having to begin this long rotation in through Secret. Electronic is holding for it. Now, if that fight is won by Config, maybe there's a chance, but already you can see Complexity. If they weren't willing to attempt a 4-on-5, I don't know about the 4-on-4. I don't know about the 2v4.
Obo could flash Config into this engagement. He knows that the player is close there. Blamey's moving, though. And yeah, you're right. Cole just giving it up. They're hoping they get an exit, but Obo misses the timing. He can catch Boomich. That's something here. But it's nothing more than a kill, and that's an assumption anyway. Boomich wins the battle, very aware, and Navi gets 7 rounds. Slow and steady wins the race. They are not dropping the ball just yet. It's good to see them actually find some rounds in the second half, right? Especially after that performance back on Dust. And 8-7.5, things were competitive, it looked good, and then Navi got swept. Not going to be the case here on Nuke.
Ooh, Config trying to run the simple garage spot. He's done damage onto Electronic Crossing, but not the killing blow that they were hoping for. The rest of Navi still back in lobby. And it might be a repeat from that last round here as they get the same man back into Secret in the form of Electronic, and now Navi actually going to look to perhaps pincer this B site. But with 2 players in at ramp and a dink landing immediately, that's enough to turn them away. Config continuing his aggression, spotted there by Boomich, doesn't want to overplay his hand, especially with Electronic having already crossed into Secret. Oh, he's just gotten into main in time. So Config has dodged death. He lives to fight another day. Is that going to make all the difference here? As we're still in a 5-on-5. Outside of like seeing each other for a moment, these teams have hardly caught whiff of one another.
Ooh, this boost is interesting. Config can go up to heaven. He can fight stand-up rush. He can fight rafters. He can even get a ramp rotating off the back of this. Might be needed. Navi have got control. They're going to use that to take lower. You'll notice Electronic from Secret has already cleared out most of these positions. And so now he can make the call. Guys, B looks good. Let's get down here. Let's take lower. Cole have had a lot of trouble with these B rotates. And they're going to go for it because they've got nothing to lose in this round. Rush just running them down. It's going to be punished. Config does take Simple in the meantime from the same position. Obo spotted. He's going to swing, and Flamey, nice little spray there. Bit of luck potentially as he runs away and takes Config with him. But this was not a round that Complexity really should have been picking up anyway. Navi going about the motions, doing what they do best, and finding an 8th.
And you just know that all throughout this round, BlameF has been coming up with solutions to this problem, right? I can't wait to see what this next rifle round entails and how exactly Complexity you want to approach it. Because we kind of already saw them testing the waters for a bit of a different approach there. You know, you send your one rifle in config, aggressive outside, he gets that early info. Nothing really came of it. But it was all just them, you know, like seeing what they can get away with. And now they have a good idea of where is a little more empty. Poison even gets away with the M4. That's a big win.
No armor. I was wondering if he'd actually survived there in the back of Decon, but he gets there just in time, and with 6 HP, he will live to tell the tale. That's Config's M4, and Cole, their buy is going to be that bit better as a result. Look at this second kill, or I guess third kill, but second you'll see in this replay. Starts moving, takes the drive-by. All power for Poison, none for Simple yet, but these rifles have been doing their due diligence for Navi. We're going to see fast plays out A. Oh, Boomich gets denied by the Molotov. It's a deep one as well that Cole throw. That's nice. Not just the molly that lands in front of the door, but in expectation that the door gets blown off, the molly lands inside. So it's going to do even more damage. It's going to deny Navi even more presence. And so they have to slow down off the back of the start. Ooh, that molly thrown by a CT has actually put out the smoke in a bad place. There's big gaps. You can see that Electronic is moving through, and Poison has so much info as a result. Blame may have just made the 400 IQ chess move. I think it was him who threw the molly. And even though Electronic gets into garage, Blame should be ready for this. Poison's made the call.
Electronic seems very aware, though, of a player being here, and he will hold his ground. That kill there onto Blame, giving over a 5-on-4. The double drop into main. Quite the pain for Config. And a 3-on-5. Navi trying to claw their way back into Nuke. Down here in Hell, this engagement between Obo and Perfecto can mean everything. He just sees the barrel. Perfecto creeping forward at the worst possible time. A 3-on-4 now. Electronic still in the garage, wants to get out of danger, tries to cross back, and Obo looking the wrong way, flicks back around. Poison's found Boomich in the meantime. This was a 3-on-5, 10 seconds, and they try and run into this A site. Flamey falling, and Poison with the double to get another round on the board for Complexity. Within the context of that being a 3-on-5, losing that outside control, having to effectively retake outside, they do such a good job of digging themselves out of that situation. That should have never have been a Complexity round.
We think about how stubborn Cole have been to rotate B in some of these rounds. Well, right there is the first time Navi actually try and take that A site. And who's there? Everyone from Complexity. They don't want B anyway. As a Navi walk right into the trap, that is such a well-held round. Perfecto, man, he gets cheesed. Can't say anything but that. Config, well, he's got some Gorgonzola of his own because Flamey through the smoke dead. That is not how you wanted to start the round if you're Navi. Whatever the game plan is, where you've lost your lurk in the lobby, you're down to the ramp play. Obo, he's here to hold it. He can take a shot and drop off with his AK. Got 2 players moving through. There's the kill. He's hanging around for more. Obo wants everything. He wants the trophy. He wants the playoffs. Poison missing the shot. Obo drops with his and doing more damage. This is probably the time to give it up right now. There's 3 players here. Obo just doesn't stop killing everyone here for Navi. It's on Electronic. He's late to the party, and Obo's already taken a chunk out of the birthday cake. 1-on-4, and now the support from lower coming up as well.
Oh, what a turnaround. Complexity, it was looking a bit scary. Navi was starting to get back into the swing of things, and now, as quick as they arrived, they're also maybe gone for Navi. Up against 14, losing the last 2 in a row. No bomb plant presenting itself. Money starts to become a problem for the Navi squad, and no such problem to be found on the Complexity side. Ramp just doesn't falter. They lock it in.
And that was just desperation from the start, right? Navi had nothing. No grenades going out on ramp. Flamey's already dead. Keep that in mind, right? Navi already limited when it comes to utility. But they just kind of stroll out ramp like, yeah, guys, this will be fine. This will be clear. They kill the AWP after Poison misses a shot. But other than that, it's just Obo lighting up the scoreboard. 91 ADR. He's not even top fragging. Doesn't need to. Life of a ramp player. doing it when they come his way. And it also makes sense why he was hanging around, considering how these B retakes have just not been apparent for Cole. So yeah, he just wants to die in that position. He wants to hold on for as long as he possibly can. And well, he'll hold on till the next round, 14-8.
This has been a really rough series from the second man of Navi and Electronic. He is 15 and 36 across both maps so far, putting him at dead last for Navi, not what we're used to seeing from him. And if they want to recover this, if they want to get us to a third map, we need a classic Electronic showing. Especially here on Nuke, you think about how important he often is over here towards outside. He's normally the difference maker, it feels like. Obo just waiting, hoping that fights present themselves. Flashes, smokes, Molly, he's blind and he walks into a Molotov for 50 damage, but Config has rid them of Perfecto in the meantime. Boomich was spotted up on top of main, but while this is happening, while the attention is drawn in, Simple is wrapping the garage. Spotted now by Blame F, his little tippy toes giving Simple away, who just gets whittled down. And that might save Obo's life, right? It's kept Simple away from this peak. Bought them even more time, and now they know about his whereabouts. Electronic had a chance there down on B to find the AWP of Poison, and he falls short. But now they flush Obo out, so we're into this 4-on-4. Electronic is still just being a nuisance and taking attention away, but Config, there he is, dropping the bomb, flaming out the A site, falls, and it's just Electronic in a 1v4.
Oh dear, Config, he starts this round the same as he started the last by killing another player through the main smoke. And then he drops Vent and just deals with everyone coming down B. Electronic has to run. There was no time left. He didn't want to live after it or die after it, so he'll go down before. And like you said, he had a chance. Harry, he gets that big flank into the ramp player. He fires off the deagle. He whiffs it. And yeah, that's just the round at that point. Oh my, this is a great game for Cole. And Navi, not what we're used to seeing. Worth noting, this isn't for elimination, right? Navi, this isn't the last time you'll see them in the tournament. Loser of this matchup is going to go down to the lower semi inside of Group A to face NIP for another spot in the playoffs. So that's going to be entertaining. And Cole, of course, right now, one round away from being up in the playoff alongside Sprout and Astralis, who both made it there yesterday. We're going to have one more playoff team as well qualify with the G2 Heroic matchup later on.
I'm very happy that Complexity are starting to get through so cleanly as well, right? Because this is a very, very scary looking Complexity. They've made this game versus Navi look so damn easy, and that's not easy to do, right? Even in games where Electronic isn't showing up, because it has happened before. You know, you're up against Simple, and you can't ever discount that guy enough. So it's an A play, a desperation play from Navi to try and keep this match alive. And boy, oh boy, is it getting shut down right now. Rush delivering the hold at the very, very end. And once again, we look to him to round out the series this time for Complexity. They lock in the playoffs. They 2-0 Navi, and they barely even break a sweat. Quite the performance. Quite the squad, and a scary looking Complexity now looking forward to those playoffs. There's still more Counter-Strike to come today, so don't head off the stream just yet. We'll be back after a break.
Always see, wait on the nothing, we're face to face. I've heard about you, you know about me. Already enough not to lose the game. The darkest night is always see, wait on the nothing, we're face to face. I've heard about you, you know about me. Already enough not to lose. not to lose the game. The darkest night is always seen. Wait on nothing, we're face to face. I've heard about you, you know about me. Already enough not to lose the game. The sweetest touch I've ever felt. The sweetest things I got with your kiss. Let's stay forever in this embrace. Mixing the sunrise with the ocean breeze. Not to lose the game. 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 Lose the game. Lose the game. Not to lose the game. Lose the game. Lose the game. Lose the game. Not to lose the game.
Well, the Complexity juggernaut steamrolled over Navi in what felt like two blisteringly short maps, and Complexity thoroughly showed that they deserved a spot in the playoffs with that performance, shutting down Navi's momentum before it could even begin, Harry.
Yeah, that was masterful from them, right? It all started with a strong performance back on Dust. Already, I was getting worried for Navi, and there on Nuke, it was just a mastermind from Blame F and the Complexity squad. You know, they were in full control throughout. They lose those first few rounds, and it's like out of the gate, maybe we're a little bit worried for Cole, right? Because things get off to a sketchy start, but they immediately recover. They have a very, very strong first half. They go 10-5 up. Then there's a bit of momentum gained for Navi to begin the second half, and immediately Complexity, they shut it down before Navi even kind of pick up any real momentum, and they start to believe, and then it's like, nah, it all just comes crushing down around them. And Complexity, man, that was a very deserved victory.
Well, this is your Mountain Dew Game Fuel post-match. And Hugo, is there anything you would have liked to see Navi doing better in order to stop Complexity in their tracks?
There's probably a lot of things you could list that. I mean, you know, when you look at the individuals as well, I feel like there's something we just didn't really have today for Navi. Slow starters, perhaps, you know, waking up on the wrong side of bed. Obviously, you got to contextualize a lot of it, but Electronic individually was just struggling, especially on that second map, man. Plenty of opportunities, plenty of like 1v1s that he just usually would win. I don't want to say like he needs to win. He usually would win, and that didn't feel like the Navi that we usually saw. That being said, Complexity had their number. They had the read in every single round. They seem to know what Navi were doing before they do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, you always hate looking at just one guy, but this is the problem. When you are a star player, you have to live up to the hype that is around you. And for someone like Electronic, who is often considered to be the second man, like the first mate of someone like Simple, right? He's meant to be there to help him out through and through, and often on Nuke especially, his role is so key. Like, it cannot be understated enough. And here, you know, he goes 15 and 38 in this series. That is one of the worst performances I think I've seen out of Electronic at such a bad timing as well.
I would have also liked to see some faster ideas right there on the T side for Navi, maybe even moving away from Dust 2, just on Nuke, right? Like some of the eco rounds, some of the pistol rounds that they actually had, where they like fast burst scenario with 5 actually worked out better than some of the rifle rounds, right? Even when they went out ramp, there was just never any utility. They were just going for trade kills, and sometimes they'd go 1-for-1, but then Obo would just mow down 3, and it's like, well, there's the round. Cole was so good at grouping and having multiple players there to trade.
Well, it wasn't a terrible performance from Simple. We were talking in the break about the fact that you need the rest of your team to actually help you along the way to having that performance. But it wasn't 35 plus frags. Sorry, Peter. We are going to head over to William, though. Rush should be waiting for us over in the interview wall. And Rush, first of all, congratulations on making playoffs. And second of all, even more congratulations for finishing off Dust 2 with 3K, a Do You Gonna Dream. What was that moment like for you?
Maybe a little unexpected. I'm like, oh, maybe I can get 2, and maybe I can, because I don't think it was planned for me. So I was like, I didn't expect to win at all, but they all picked me kind of one by one, and I had some 1 digs, so it worked out.
Rush, you're a bit of a world traveler right now. You guys have been in Denmark, you've been in Serbia, now you're over in London. How have you stayed sane during all of this crazy year?
We haven't. No, I'm kidding. I think by the end of the tenure last season, it was a little tough, but when you go home and see your family and stuff, it kind of makes up for it. And I got to see him for 3 or 4 weeks. So I think after that, I was kind of ready to go back, and now it's fresh. And yeah, maybe at the end of the season, it'll happen again, a little bit of burnout. But right now, I'm ready to play.
Rush, you've played under a number of different IGLs. I want to know, what's it like being led by someone who's as strong a character and as strong in the server as BlameF? What's the work ethic like? And what's it like just being under him?
I wish he was a little stronger in real life, but overall as an IGL, he's good. He puts on, I've said it before, but he puts in the effort outside of practice and during practice, always improving our game to make sure we don't make the same mistakes. And on top of that, the anti-strat today was on point by everybody, our analyst and our coach and him as well. Like, we really knew how they were playing, and they played to our advantage a lot. And overall, yeah, he's just a great asset to the team. I'm glad to be playing with him.
Rush, one more question for me about the culture inside of your team, not just Blame alone, right? You've been to the top in North America under C9. Over in Complexity, you guys are more of an EU team. What's the culture difference, right? What's the change in and outside of the server as opposed to being in an American-only team?
I think in the past American teams, maybe we didn't practice as much. Not necessarily like that much less, but we definitely had less scrims available to us in North America in general. Like, you kind of play the same teams over and over. But when you're in Europe, and we've been in Europe for most of the time this team's been alive, and I think that there's just so many more teams to practice against, so it's way easier just to have a really fruitful practice day. So I think also playing like six days a week, I think in North America, most of my teams, we played 5 days a week. So yeah, we play more, but it plays to our advantage. I don't think we burn out too much, and there's just better teams to play against here, and a more concentrated amount as well.
Rush, how much of that game plan we just witnessed was focused on Navi's game as opposed to our own?
We kind of did a little bit of both. It's like 50-50. We have like our assets and our strats, and we know what they do. So we kind of like just plug in what strats work best against them, and maybe we have a very specific like anti-strat like that we can make up like a mini strat versus them that works against them. And we did that once on one of these maps. I'm not gonna say what, but basically the point is that we use our strats to like their weaknesses. What we find the weak spots and use our strats in those weak spots.
Well, you were being watched by Dupree, so I think he's studying you guys quite interestingly at the moment. What do you think Astralis are looking like at the moment?
Yeah, I think they surprised people by winning. I forgot who they beat yesterday. Was it Vitality?
Yeah.
Yeah, they it was a good game by them, and I think the new guys showed up a lot, Esteg and Bubsky, so that's probably a big boost of confidence for them. I think Esteg's been waiting to play for months and months now, so he finally got his chance, and he proved that he's worth being on that roster. So they're going to be a team to look out for. They've always been strong, and this might be the resurgence that they've been looking for.
Well, Rush, it looks like you've got a lot of washing up to do, so we will let you go and get on with that. Thank you so much for talking to us, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thanks.
I think he's got washing up to do. I mean, the plates in the dish like washer, that's called a sink. The manual dishwasher, they look quite clean. So maybe he's just storing them there. He can't reach the cupboards. I don't
Major
know.
winners don't wash their own dishes.
Man, that's why he's in the hotel.
Say.
You know, they do it for him.
Obo on the team. He gets Obo to come around next door and do the dishes for him. That's how it works. He's the youngest player on the squad. But let's take a look at the lower bracket, because Navi are now going to be facing NIP to get a spot in the playoffs, and of course OG and Mad Lions. That's going to happen next week as as well. Having seen Navi in a couple of series now, how do we think they're going to fare against NiP?
Oh, that's a scary one. NiP have been a team that will just not give up, right? They just grind out these games. Both of their matches have been to insanely long overtime. The OG matchup on the opening day with 4 OTs and a BO3, and then 4 OTs in one map against Big in that series as well. So I think that's going to be a really hard game for Navi. Even if they come in well prepared and feeling good individually, NIP are not a team they're going to let go.
Navi are just such a frustrating team, man, because you always want, you just want Simple to win, right? Like, you just want the best player in the world to be winning events, and yet it never feels that easy for him. It never feels that simple, if you kind of pardon the pun, right? It's like, I don't know what the solution is for this Navi squad, and I imagine we're going to see them get better and better as time goes on. You know, we do have to remember the caveat that we're coming off the back of the player break, but it's clear that they're not coming into it. Same as kind of like Mouse Sports in a way, where, you know, you hope that it refreshes everyone and that you look all good, but instead it looks like it's kind of like a slow burning beginning that I hope turns around for Simple and the rest of Navi's sake.
I think the solution is they need to get back to LAN. And I don't want them to change before, because I really do believe in this lineup. And I believe in you guys and your CS knowledge and your love of the game, because I know you want to stick around to watch the Counter-Strike, but also if you stick around after the first map of our next series, you'll have a chance to win with the DHL drop. So maybe spruce up on your history a bit to get ready for that one. But in the meantime, we're going to go back even further in time to 2014, courtesy of an epic moment from our friend Hiko.
Debutantes, underdogs, rookies. In 2014, there were many ways you could describe Cloud9. However, that could only apply to the organization itself, as their CSGO roster they acquired from Complexity just 2 weeks before Cologne was far from inexperienced. And that experience manifested itself in the most crucial moments, with one of them being a battle against Dignitas. Thanks to Dupree, an even duel on Mirage could soon end with Cloud9's defeat.
Team Dignitas that got the smokes down to cut Cloud9 off, and in fact, they're going for huge plays! Dupree!
But with someone like Hiko on the defense, even the best entries might just not be enough.
That bomb plant's already been happening for quite a while here, so Hiko and Sean, that's a good kill from Hiko, but they realize Dupree's still in there. So Hiko comes in with another kill, and back to a 2-on-2. That bomb's too far tick. They gotta move quick right now. They're going for it. The defuse is already happening. Hiko, are you kidding me? He's gonna go for it. They win the round. Hiko picks up a triple, like Cloud9 win it. What?
Intel Gamer Days is on now. Whether you're looking to buy or build, now is a great time to upgrade. Get limited time offers and giveaways from top names in PC gaming.